Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 6th of October 2023. So just come away from an interesting electrical job back there, complete with an unintended shower pretty much. Guy rings me up, says the light fitting in his downstairs loo isn't working, so I go along, and it's a bulkhead type fitting, so there's a round diffuser on the bottom which you kind of spin off, and once I sort of did that, seemed quite a lot heavier than normal, and I get all of this water coming down on me, so the thing's completely full of water. And I said to the guy, that's probably what the problem is. So obviously some kind of leak upstairs, water coming down into the light fitting, so had to take that off, make the cables safe, and then he's going to get the leak sorted out, and I'll go back at some stage to pop a new light fitting on for him. So you get all sorts of things with this job. Anyway, I've picked up a fair few new subscribers in the last day or two, no doubt thanks to Richard Vobes and my interview on his show, and people have decided to come and check me out. So if you're new here, a warm welcome to the channel, and if you want to know what I'm all about, well, if you like Richard, you'll most likely like me, because we're going to be on the same sort of wavelength, as it were, about all of the things going on. And obviously I'm not quite as slick and polished as Richard is. I tend to either talk from here in my kind of van, as I call it. Well, it's like an estate car really, but I call it a van because I normally have all of my tools in the back here a lot of the time, or I'm inside in the armchair there, sort of speaking my mind. So that's part of it. Sometimes I recommend other channels and videos that I've seen which I found really interesting as well. So that's basically what I'm all about. And like I say, if you're new around here, a very warm welcome to the channel. So I made two videos yesterday. One where I was talking about Lorraine, my wife, basically, and also another one which I didn't put on, so I'm going to follow that on from here, kind of thing. So it's actually shot yesterday but putting it on here today, kind of thing. So I was basically talking about some current affairs, what's going on with Lawrence Fox, what's going on with Michael O'Bernacea, and things like that. So carry on watching for that. And there's not going to be any videos from me over the weekend, well, unless something really sort of weird or interesting happens, but in all likelihood no videos from me until Monday now, because I'm going to be out on the golf course. I understand it's going to be, so this customer was saying, I've just come away from, that it's going to be a really nice weekend and start the next week as well. It's going to be up to mid-20s and all sorts, so hopefully that's going to be the case. So should have a couple of pleasant days out there on the golf course, and hopefully I'll be able to sort of play a good game. Haven't played golf really, very much at all this year. I've just been so busy with my filming and freedom stuff and all of that, which, to be honest with you, just seems more important to me these days. But it's important to let your hair down, if I had any, that is, to let your hair down, just go out and relax and have a bit of fun. And yeah, sort of usual thing with this friend and my brother, who we tend to get together every few months and play a bit of golf, and sort of go out for a pint or two in the evening, maybe a curry. So looking forward to that. Hopefully I can play well, even though I'm a bit rusty. I suppose we'll see, won't we? Anyway, carry on watching for a bit of commentary that I did yesterday, and talk to you soon. So it's not looking like a good week for prominent people speaking out about various things, does it? First of all, I'm going to put this guy first because I'm going to forget his name otherwise. A guy called Doug Larson, who apparently is or was a senator in North Dakota in the United States, of course. Apparently he was speaking out against V's, the alphabet soup type of V, which is what I'll call them, not just normal V's, but the ones which have got a bit of an alphabet soup in front of the V word. He was speaking out against those, or supporting a law or some kind of bill wanting these things to be investigated. And surprise, surprise, he was very recently, in the last few days, killed in a freak, apparently, plane crash. So that was number one. Number two, we've got Michael O'Bernacea, otherwise known as the Bernician, however you pronounce his name, I'm not quite sure, but that's not important. He has had his daughter taken away by the police and social services. Of course, he's a very outspoken person, trying to bring court cases against various government people, ministers, etc. And apparently, for whatever reason, I can't think of any genuine reason why this would have been done, but unfortunately Michael was out apparently just for 15-20 minutes, and the police came along, and unfortunately they managed to get sort of into the house past the wife, and they took the daughter away. So he is now currently fighting to get his 16-year-old daughter back home. So another quite worrying sort of development there. And finally, Lawrence Fox. You've probably seen this news, I should think, but yesterday he was arrested by the police, basically for saying nice things about the organisation or group of people in London whose names or name is starting with B-R. I think you can probably guess what I'm talking about there. He was saying nice things about them, and yeah, he was arrested. So it seems that the powers that shouldn't be are ramping things up, the old persecution up a little bit. So if you're a prominent person who's speaking out currently, it looks like you may well be next in line. So that is the way things seem to be. The only way around it is to kick up such a fuss about these things. Obviously, you can't help the poor old American senator, but we can certainly kick up a big fuss as far as Lawrence Fox and the Bernicians concerned. It's just completely out of order. And if you sort of think that kicking up a fuss doesn't work, I've just seen news, I can't verify this, but it's quite heartening news. And in Nigeria, apparently they tried to bring in CBDCs there, the old central bank digital currencies. They tried to bring it in. I remember this being the case not that long ago, 2 or 3 months ago, probably at the start of the summer. So they introduced CBDCs in Nigeria, and it just hasn't worked. Basically, they brought the thing in despite there being a referendum where 99.5% of Nigerians rejected the thing, but they brought it in anyway. This is what they're doing. If they get a referendum result they don't like, they just sort of think, well, we don't have to respect that decision. We can just push ahead with things anyway. But in Nigeria, getting back onto that track, they have basically caused the central bank digital currency to collapse. The poor, all they were doing was going back to bartering, and with things as simple as matchsticks. And yeah, they have finally managed to defeat the CBDC there, and the government's been forced to withdraw it. So
That's not verified. It sounds likely though. It seemed like quite a credible article I read there. But it is, if that story is true, it is proof that, pushing back against these sort of horrible things does work. These things, the powers that shouldn't be are trying to bring in, they're not guaranteed. They are by no means guaranteed. They are by no means a done deal, and we can defeat them, and we will defeat them as well. So I've waffled on here long enough. I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.